So, I've been playing some Tekken 6, because as you all know, Tekken 8 has been going down a dark path, but hey, the game does seem to be healing bit by bit, although we are going to get Fakum Ram next, so you know, but hey, whatever, it's fine. I'm not really one to complain about characters, unless we're talking about Clive. Delete this motherfucker. But anyway, so meanwhile, I've been playing some Tekken 7 online, but I've also been playing a lot of the older games offline, especially Tekken 6. And that's simply because this game has the best single player experience, which we are going to check out in this video. But first things first, let me just tell you that this game looks insane on the emulator, bro. Which is funny because I kinda remember Tekken 6 not looking great on the PS3, but I am currently running this at over 4K, and yeah, I mean, this game looks pretty fucking good, not gonna lie. Look at that wall back there. Yo, I mean, the ground is a little you know, but the wall on the back, yo, like, that is crazy. Look at that shit. This is one of those games that was really being hindered by its platform, but as soon as you just upscale it, like, bro, this actually looks incredible. Actually, both this game and Tag 2, they look incredible on the emulators, man. It's fucking crazy. But anyway, the reason why we are here today, it's because of the scenario campaign. If you are a fellow Tekken Force enjoyer, you'll feel right at home. This was simply the story mode for Tekken 6, but it plays like a Tekken Force game mode, which is great. Personally, I think it was a great idea to differentiate the story mode from the rest of the game. And I mean, to be honest, I would kinda like for this to become the standard for Tekken games. I mean, throughout the years, we have had a lot of interesting game modes, but Tekken Force specifically, I feel like it's got insane potential that is simply not being explored right now. Playing Tekken Force with a friend, either locally or online, like, bro, that would go so hard, especially with the new visuals and stuff. Not only is it a sick-ass game mode, but for everybody that doesn't feel like grinding ranked or labbing characters or just overall dealing with the online environment, imagine they just had a completely different game mode that they could customize their characters and then just go in and have some fun. And at the same time, you could still learn characters while you are doing it because their movesets are the same. And just that alone could even get some people into practice mode to learn a few combos. I mean, who knows? But while the gameplay of Scenario Campaign was pretty cool, the cutscenes and overall pacing of the story felt kind of off. Like, it's not a very exciting story, you know? Sometimes they even have action scenes going on, but they just feel super slow with a bunch of crazy jump cuts, and they're not very well framed, and it feels kind of weird. And then you're like, what the fuck did I even just watch? But the other side of the coin is just a lot of yapping about Lars, of all things. So I do enjoy the fact that we have a lot of cutscenes, but the story could have been paced differently. Both Tekken 8 and Tekken 7 have some crazy cutscenes, so I don't think that would be a problem nowadays. And honestly, as a Tekken fan, I don't really need much. I just kinda like watching characters interact with one another, even though Lars and Alyssa aren't exactly my favorites, but you know, different games could focus on different characters. And they do have some RPG-esque dialogue between all characters, because you can play this with whoever you want, even though the cutscenes will show Lars and Alyssa. So now that we are in the actual game, which is basically just Tekken Force, but it's like the most expensive Tekken Force game mode they ever made, although it does have a few issues. You can set separate controls in the options menu for the scenario campaign, but the problem is that those two things need to exist. So you only get 2 shortcut buttons instead of 4. Nowadays this wouldn't be a problem though, because we can bind R3 and L3 as well, but you can't do that in this game. Although, to be fair, I'm not even sure if that is necessary, wherever that is. Like, I've pressed L1 and nothing happened. I don't even know what that is. And also, the lock-on lingers on dead enemies for way too long. Once someone dies, it should just immediately switch to the next closest target, so you aren't out here whiffing attacks like an idiot. And we also got tiny aliens here for some reason that drop extra stuff if you beat their ass. That one isn't actually a problem, it's just funny to me. But we got Brian over here as the first level boss. Now, I don't really know any Lars combos, but it's not like it matters when you can just pick up a minigun off the floor and rail this dude up the ass with it. Which is why this game mode is sick, and it goes super hard if you can play it with some friends. Anyway, next area. You know, nice thing about Lars is that even if you don't know any combos, he does have a 1-1-1. Get in line! Yeah! My guy, yo, that shit is crazy, bro. The miniguns. I know there are also flamethrowers and shit you can get in this game. Just clean them out. Alright, yo, hold up. This dude's doing some crazy shit. Alright, that's a sick ass move, bro, not gonna lie. Yo, look at this Volvo ass looking ninjas. Did the Soul Calibur team make these guys? Also, this move usually whiffs in Tekken Force. I don't know why, but it does. Hold up, let me try this. I just can't fucking land it. Hold up, let me just time it a little differently. No, it completely whiffs in this mode. I cannot use this as a combo. It doesn't work. Also, by the way, unblockables in this game mode are uninterruptible to my knowledge, and you will get absolutely cooked by that shit. Alyssa's AI has increased to level 2. That's kind of funny because she's an actual robot, but hopefully she will be a little less garbage right now. And also, you can visit the arena. This is where you get your traditional arcade endings for characters, but you can only use characters that you have already beaten in scenario campaign. But when you start this game mode, they also let you unlock one character for free, and that's why Nina is here. Now, back on the world map, we have 2 different missions we can do. Let's just go to this one. Alright, now, these dudes are a lot tougher, but you can ring them out. And that little chest I just got, those are customization items. Tekken 6 actually has some very decent customization, and the way you unlock it is by simply playing this game mode, which is pretty nice. And I need a shortcut for the rest of that combo, man. Look, can I just bring this guy out? He has a lot of health. Nah, come on, man. Can I not? Alright, let's go. Cool. Oh, bro, another one of those dudes? Alright, take this man out, and these 2, and I'm just gonna ring this guy out there. These dudes have way too much health, man. I ain't putting up with. Get the fuck out of here, let's go. Anyway, who's gonna be the boss? Oh, Jack. Alright, makes sense. Actually, I wonder, could I possibly ring out a boss? Yup, yes I can. So we just unlocked Jack, which is nice, and I think this is Lily. I know she's from the harbor area somewhere, and I remember that because back in the day I used to kinda hate that bitch, but now she's one of the characters I main, so you know, times have changed. Forward 4 is a low into spin kick, but bro, the spin kick alone does a shitload of damage, holy fuck. You can probably beat this game by just pressing forward. Just forward, forward, forward. Like, that does a lot. Holy shit. There we go. It's Lily. Bro, she looks a lot. Yeah, well, I mean, she was probably like 15 or 16 in this game. Talking about how you're gonna be your new toy and shit. You know this girl is freaky, bro. Oh, I wonder how you'll sing when I hurt you. I can't wait to find out, bro. Fucking Lily on Tekken 6 is a goddamn psycho, man. Here, bung, dung, and I wish I could use fucking L2 for that one, but I can't. Here, I mean, this is basically the only Lars combo I know. Into this and this. Alright, good stuff. Bruck. Also, I think if that counter hits, there's a special animation here. I think that's... and yep, you can't do anything. I don't know what you do about unblockables. They cannot be interrupted, so I'm actually not sure what the strat is supposed to be. And I mean, well, actually that feels a little bit like Urban Rain. Do I just have to use my own unblock? Hold up, what's Lars unblockable? It's this. But I can't use the shortcut for it. I have to press 3 and 2 and back. Yeah, it's back 3 and 2. Hold up, let me just check. If I do this... I mean, she didn't even try to hit me. But, yo, alright, let me go into the middle of the bunch of people. Yeah, I don't think I can get... Or can I? Like, the AI on these girls isn't very active. But, yo, can someone try to hit me as I'm doing an unblockable? No? Well, that's fine, whatever. Actually, let me try hitting Lily with this shit. Come on, get up! Oh shit, I can actually hit her on the floor? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm actually protected when I'm doing an unblockable. Which is kinda wild, but I don't think they can hit me. Am I about to spam this shit the entire game? Maybe. But unlocking her as a playable character is pretty nice. I might switch to her eventually. I do want to try some different characters. Both because I can't stand Lars for too long, but also because when you clear enemies and levels, the gear you unlock is always for the character that you're playing as. So if I play with Lars and Alyssa, I'm always going to unlock stuff for Lars and Alyssa. And so if you want to unlock stuff for the characters that you actually want to play with, then you have to play with them as well. Which personally I think it's pretty cool, and it's a nice way to get some customization, like this chest right here. Says item acquired, and that's how you unlock stuff for your characters, which is pretty nice. I mean, it's a lot better than fucking treasure battle from Tekken 7, although to be honest, it's better than not having anything like Tekken 8. But right now what we got is fucking Dragonov over here. Fuck, man, he's got a bunch of fucking goons with him. Truck. I mean, they do heal me, so it's kinda nice. Just grab this man. Heyo. Right, good stuff. Bung, dung, don't get up, don't, just get your ass back on the floor, right, now, just hit him with this. Oh, come on, the fucking wall actually messed up my combo. Well, he's out. Alyssa actually died in that mission, but it's not like it matters. Anyway, we got some sports sunglasses, upper body, shirt and vest, head knit cap, and whenever you are in the world map, you can just press start, go into customize, choose any of the characters. Let's go with Lars, because it's the only one I actually have stuff unlocked for right now. But that unlocked stuff ain't free, because if you wanna put this man in a sexy ass down vest pink, you do have to pay for it. You just unlock it in scenario campaign, but you still have to buy him. Just look at all the options in this game. We got upper body, other upper body, which is the cape in his case, arm, lower body, back, waist, right, waist, left. Like, you can add a fucking submachine gun to his leg, I believe. I think, yep, it goes right there. I might actually do it, fuck it. And I believe most of this customization is actually character specific. We have the riding jacket and down vest, but if I pick like Jin for example, he's got upper body inner and outer. Alright, yeah, so he's got a bunch of different shirts, and the outer is a bunch of different jackets. Hold up, is that, yo, that Tekken 4 style? I mean, it's not the same hoodie, but that shit looks kinda fire, yo! I know Nina has some crazy leather suits in this game. I mean, this black riding jacket is nice and all, but then you also got these versions. Ultra sexy riding jacket, like, bro. And that's the Tekken 6 scenario campaign. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect. Alright, it could definitely use some refinement, but overall, like, this is a great game mode. Now imagine this, but in a modern Tekken, and you can play it casually online or locally with your friends. You could add different layers of difficulty to the map, like for example, say you beat all the missions on normal, then you unlock hard mode, and then you beat all the missions on hard and you unlock extreme difficulty or some shit, which besides just health and damage could also change certain enemy spawns and density and whatnot. Tekken 8 actually has some pretty decent enemy density in its story mode, and the hit smashes function as AoE attacks to help you deal with a quantity of enemies. Also, a lot of my lock-on complaints with Tekken 6 are actually already fixed here. The lock-on changes immediately after an enemy dies, and you can cycle targets with the analog stick, which lets you go back and forth between them. Now, when it comes to gameplay, you could have a billion game modes with something like this, right? Besides the standard map wandering while beating people's asses, you could have arenas with waves of enemies, larger maps where you gotta capture certain points. Let's also not forget to add some levers to open gates and ladders you can climb just to make it feel a bit more interactive. Maybe even some secret areas where you can unlock the artwork and stuff, and make sure to include a few more elite enemies around the map so you can actually work some combos on them. You know, let the combat system shine a bit more. And the hit system could be changed in this game mode to become a resource you simply build up by beating up enemies throughout the stage. And then you could simply do like 20% extra damage when you're in heat or something like that, because chip damage ain't really gonna do much in this game mode. And that's assuming we are talking about Tekken 8, because they did tease this shit in the story mode, but you know, that was about it. It would be fucking sick if you could actually play as Xiaoyu beating up a bunch of jacks in the Yakushima stage. They sometimes do these like survival fights or whatever in the story mode, but I mean, it's not really the same thing. And look, I appreciate them trying to spice up story mode a little bit with some different stuff, but it's just not different enough. But if the story mode was Tekken Force, it would be pretty different from the rest of the game. And then they could do that thing where like the first time you're beating a mission, you have to follow their own specific rules and they pick a character for you, blah blah blah, because story. But after beating it once, then you unlock free play for that mission and you can replay it with whoever you want. That way you would still experience the story the way it's intended, at least the first time. But in Tekken 6, there is something else that makes this game mode pretty cool, which is the customization unlocks, which work pretty well for this game. But how would we reward players in Tekken 8, where fight money is basically worthless and we have a battle pass and a shop? Well, I don't really have an answer to that, but Tekken 9 though, you could try to make this fight money economy actually make some level of sense, because I have millions of this currency and there's nothing to do with this. Now, personally, I would suggest to make everything in the shop locked and purchasable. There are no free items in the shop, and you unlock them the same way you do here by playing through levels with your character of choice, and then you buy the unlocked items in the shop with fight money. Either way, make all the items in the shop rather expensive, not crazy, but let people grind a little bit for the items they want. Also, if you buy an outfit at the Tekken shop, it's yours, but stuff that's unlocked in the Battle Pass, you still have to buy it at the customization screen with fight money. I think those would be cool additions, and it would give people a lot more things to do in this game. Between this and online ranked, you can still make a lot of money, and eventually it's gonna start piling up anyway when you already bought everything you were interested in. You could also get some special nameplates and health bars and stuff like that from this game mode, of course. But the biggest thing about this is simply having a story mode that's actually fun and replayable with friends or by yourself. Story modes in fighting games are becoming bigger and better and also definitely more expensive, but let's be honest, this is kind of a throwaway game mode because most people are gonna play it once for the cutscenes and then never touch it again. To be honest with you, I just speedran this thing on easy mode because fighting AI in fighting games, it's not super fun, and I wasn't about that life. But if Tekken Force becomes the new norm for the story mode and word gets around that that's how Tekken is now, it's like 2 games in 1, I think you will see a whole new influx of people just for that alone. Because this shit is fun. And what you're looking at on screen right now, like, it's pretty old, alright? Like, they could definitely do a lot better nowadays, but it's still pretty fun. I honestly do believe people would be more prone to buying Tekken if it was like this. If we had a fun and replayable story mode, a sense of progression where you can unlock stuff in the shop and blah blah blah. You know, some of that PS2 era type shit, although this is PS3 technically, but you know what I mean. Because let's not forget that Tekken 8 sold like 3 million copies within a year or something like that. But like, where is everybody? Like, the current player base must be around like 8 or 9k. If that. Fighting game developers need to start getting rid of the idea that online rank is enough and then complain that their genre is niche or whatever, because there are definitely ways around it. The thing is, if you look at a GTA or a Ghost of Tsushima and then look at Tekken, now I know fighting games are extremely deep and blah blah blah, I mean that's why I love them too, but for most people, this just looks like a very limited game, where it's like one character versus another inside an arena and that's kinda it. These games need more options and more things to do. Look at Street Fighter 6 for example, with a World Tour mode. Like, bro, I'm not even a Street Fighter player and I bought that shit because of it. Character creator, open world, you can fight whoever in whatever place you want. Like, bro, sign me up. That's the type of stuff that will get more people to try out your game. Look, like I said before, not everybody wants to laugh and grind ranked. You want to attract a more casual audience? Tekken Force is the fucking way. Something like this, but modernized, could make Tekken bigger than aggression ever will. But certain parts of the story, like Kazuya versus Azazel, Reina versus Kazuya, Jin and Leroy, or the final battle with Jin and Kazuya, those fights could still play like regular 1v1 Tekken. You could make them separate special stages in the map. But in case you are doing it with a friend, you could have a tag system there that allows you to switch between characters. And you know, one character would be one player and the other character would be controlled by the other player. I don't know, man, look, just be creative with it. A Tekken Force like this one has the potential to be a fucking gold mine. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. I'm going to keep playing this and unlock some ultra sexy outfits for Nina, so stay tuned if you wanna see that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace!